Hey everybody, it's John, aka Golden John Ion, and I'm back with another silly little computer project. Yeah, I know, but just hear me out because this one makes a heck of a lot more sense. If you're like me, you probably enjoy playing some video games, and if you're even more like me, you probably enjoy playing some retro video games. And if you're even more like me, can you please tell me why my farts are keeping me up at night? Is it an auditory thing and because I'm a light sleeper? Or is it because of, I don't know. But what I do know is lately I've been abruptly woken up by what I like to call terror farts. Any information you can provide on terror farts will be much obliged. I really need the sleep.
Gross.
What is it now?
I may have a solution for your audio issues.
Oh yeah? Do you now? I'm really going to enjoy hearing this one.
Why don't you just click on your mute button before you hibernate for the night?
What the f***? You see, this is the weird shit I keep telling you about. People just don't talk like that. And God, who cares anymore? You've already managed to derail this whole thing. Man, I'm so tired.
So you were saying something about old video games?
Huh? What? Oh yeah, sorry. I just haven't slept in a really long... never mind. If you're a fan of retro video games, you're probably also very familiar with emulating retro consoles in order to play them. In this video, I'm going to make an all-in-one retro gaming console by mounting a computer to the back of a monitor. And on top of that, I'm going to fill that computer with every retro game I can get my hands on. So, let's see how the hell I'm going to do this one. Before I mount this motherboard to anything, I'm going to have to test it to make sure it's fully functional and capable to play emulated games. This motherboard is from a HP 110 desktop, which was released in 2014. It has an AMD A4 5000 processor with an integrated AMD HD 8330 for graphics. This particular graphics card is only clocked at 500 MHz and supports up to DirectX 11. With no dedicated VRAM, this graphics card is underpowered at best, but should be more than enough for what I need. Since this motherboard is roughly 7 inches square, it uses an external power adapter as its power supply, similar to a laptop. Because of this, it's ideal for my project as I don't have to worry about placing and mounting a conventional PC power supply to the back of the monitor. I start by plugging in the motherboard into a power source to see if the board will power up initially. As soon as I do this, the power indicator LED lights up green, letting me know that the motherboard is capable of turning on. The front I/O pin connectors for this motherboard are in this area, so I will need to figure out which of these pins powers the motherboard so I can power it on. I managed to recover a power switch from another computer to use on this one. Also, I have a stack of different types of DDR3 RAM which should have at least one compatible stick that will work with this motherboard. I also have a power connector and SATA cable for the hard drive, a Wi-Fi cable that's needed for the already connected Wi-Fi adapter, and lastly an SSD hard drive to run my operating system and ROMs on. I start building the computer by connecting the power switch to the motherboard. After I find the correct pins used to turn on this device, I will move on to testing the RAM. I managed to figure out which pins are used for the power button connector, but the device turns off right away. I need to figure out why it's doing that. Some motherboards will only power up for a few seconds without RAM installed, so I seat a stick of RAM and try to power the computer once more. I begin to think the computer needs to be fully built before it will boot properly, so I move on to connecting the rest of the needed components, hoping this will fix the issue. Still not booting, I swap out the RAM and try to power it again. The computer is still only powering up for a few seconds after the RAM is swapped. At this point, I discover that the power switch needs to be held down at all times for it to stay powered. Releasing the trigger switch will shut down the device. To fix this, I just remove the switch and use the two power wires as the switch. If you strip the wire shielding and touch the exposed wires together, this will turn on the device. Now that the computer is fully built and powering up, I will move on to installing Windows on this device. Once Windows is installed, I will let it update in the background while I download an emulator and ROM to test the computer's gaming capabilities. For the emulator, I navigate to the website emulatorzone.com and download Project 64 as my emulator of choice. Now that I got my emulator, I navigate to the website wowroms.com to find a copy of the classic game Mario 64 to use as a testing ROM. After a quick configuration of the emulator, I was able to get the game running seamlessly, giving me confidence that this emulation machine will work as planned. After a quick run down memory lane, I'm pretty satisfied that this small form factor computer will be more than enough for the project at hand. Finally, I proceed to update the computer and then leave it there for the next day and the next video, where I mount this computer to the back of a 17-inch monitor. And that's the end of part 1 of this video series. Please feel free to like, follow, share, and subscribe. Every little bit helps me towards being able to make more of these videos. And stay tuned for part 2, where I mount the computer to the back of a monitor. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.